Hi guys, and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to explain all of the items part 2, and this time it is going to be the magic items. And without any further ado, let's dive into the video. First on our list is the Scepter of Reverberation that gives you magic attack and movement speed. And it has a passive of every time you hit a skill, there will be an explosion effect dealing magic damage to your enemy. This is a very good item for burst type of mages like Angela, Nua, Mai, and many more that can benefit from the passive, since they usually deals quite a lot of damage, and that extra damage from the explosion effect gives them more firepower to burst down their enemies. Next is the Savant's Wrath that gives you magic damage, and it has a passive that boosts your magic damage even more. So this is a really good magic item if you want to boost your magic damage even more. This applies to all of the mages in the game, but of course the burst type mages will benefit more with this item. Next is the Mask of Agony that gives you magic damage, cooldown reduction, and max health. And it has a passive of whenever you deal magic damage to your enemy, there will be a burn effect that deals damage depending on their current HP. So this is a must item for utility mages since their damage tends to be lower, and this helps them to dish out a good amount of damage against tanky heroes. Next is the Twilight Strain that gives you magic damage, cooldown reduction, and max health. And it has a passive of dealing magic damage to your enemy will increases your magic pierce, and it can stack up to 10 times. So this is a really good item for those heroes who can deal a continuous amount of magic damage like Angela, Shangguan, Erin, and many more, since their ulti is usually a continuous damage. So if you want to shred tanky heroes, then this item might be able to help you out with those heroes that I mentioned. Next is the Void Staff that gives you magic attack and max health. And it has a passive that gives you magic pierce for 45%. So this is your late game item for all of the mages in the game, since this will help you to shred a lot of tanky heroes in the game. Next is the Insatiable Tome that gives you magic damage, cooldown reduction, and max health. And it has a passive of gaining magical lifesteal. So this is a really good item for those heroes who are dealing tons of damage, like multiple AoE damage mage user will benefit a lot with this item, since this will help you out on surviving thanks to the lifesteal effect. Next is the Tome of Wisdom that gives you the highest magic attack and cooldown reduction. And it has a passive that increases your damage dealt for every 100 magic attack that you have with a maximum of 12%. So this item is only applicable for burst mages that usually deals quite a lot of damage like Angela, Gun and Mo, Xiao Xiao, Daji, and many more. This is a late game item that will boost your damage even more. Next is the Splendor that gives you magic attack and cooldown reduction. And it has an active skill that once you use it, it will grant you immunity to all damage in the game, but of course you won't be able to move for a short period of time. So this is one of the best defensive items that you can use if you are always getting targeted by your enemies, since it will save you from a lot of sticky situations. Next is the Holy Grail that gives you magic attack, cooldown reduction, and max health. And it has a passive that restores your mana, but if your mana is full, then your HP is going to regenerate instead. So this item is really good if you want to spam a lot of skills, since it gives you cooldown reduction and mana regen. This usually benefits heroes that are very mana hungry like Chaiyan or Daochan. Next is the Golden Blade that gives you attack speed, magic attack, and movement speed. And it has two passives. One gives you additional basic attack damage, and the other one, it gives you additional attack speed whenever you deal basic attack. At full stack, your basic attack deals magic damage. So as of now, only one hero that will benefit from this item, which is going to be Erin, since she is a marksman that can deal magic damage. Next is the Staves of Sorcery that gives you magic attack, max mana, max health, and movement speed. So this item is usually good for mages like Mai and Sima Yi, since they usually benefit from their passive, which enhances their next basic attack, and this will boost their basic attack even more. Next is the Ogre's Sword that gives you magic attack, max mana, and max health. And it has two passives. One is that you regen a portion of your health every time you level up. And the other one, it gives you dual resistance depending on your magic attack. So this is a really good item for dive mages like Luna and Shangguan, since this will give you some tankiness to somehow survive when you dive in. Next is the Ardent Dominator that gives you magic attack, max mana, and mana regen. And it has a passive when your HP drops to 30%, it will give you shield, movement speed, and removes all of the crowd control. So this is another defensive item that you can use if you are always getting targeted by your enemies. Next is the Breakthrough Robe that gives you magic attack and max health. And it has two passives. One is you gain additional magic attack depending on your extra health, and the other one is you gain magic pierce depending also on your extra health. So this is a good defensive item that normally used by dive mages like Luna, Shangguan, or Yuhuan. Next is the Frozen Breath that gives you magic attack, cooldown reduction, and max health. And it has a passive that whenever your skill hit an enemy, it will deal extra damage and slows the movement speed of it. So this item is good for utility-based type of mages since this will enhances their crowd control even more. Next is the Venomous Stuff that gives you magic attack, cooldown reduction, and movement speed. And it has a passive that it reduces the health recovery and lifesteal effect of your enemy whenever you hit them with your basic attack or skills. So this is a very situational item that you need to build if your enemies has a lot of sustain, since this will cut down most of their sustain so that you can easily kill them. And lastly is the Moon Goddess that gives you magic attack and cooldown reduction. So this is the upgraded version of the Splendor that you can only buy once the game reaches 20 minutes or you burned all of your sanctuaries. And it has additional passive. Once the immunity ends, it will give you movement speed and restore some of your health. And that is pretty much all of the magic items, and wait for the part 3 for the defense items. And until then, see you in the next video.